Welcome, welcome, y'all. We're about to kick off Prime Week a day early. I've got a demo for a yummy snack we're going to be putting together, as well as a little special announcement we're going to be making for Prime Week. But before I get into that, I'm going to make sure we're all good, live, let some people trickle on in. Let's check the audio, all the fun tinkering back end side of things that will get situated. Looks like this live's good. Looks like we're good here. Now we're just going to take about 10 or so minutes, kind of get everything situated. And then as I'm doing this, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm going to check my audio here, jump on Amazon. I'm excited. We're going to be diving into a Biolore demo. I'm going to make probably my favorite like peanut butter jelly snack that I have with them. And then we're also going to be going over some questions and all. All right, audio looks good. Sweet. All right. All right, y'all, we're looking good over here. Okay. I'm going to hop out of here. Now let's get set up for our Biolore side. Get some questions in there as well. And we'll dive into the fun. Again, I'm going to be sampling all of our flavors, which all of these I've had. They're all good. We're going to go over that, as well as some of the fun for Prime Week, prepping up for all of that. Plus, we got our bands, we got our Kindle, we got all three of our books, the 28-day reset that I have right here. Also, our slow cooker. We also have the barbecue cookbook. They're all going to be free on Kindle this week, starting tomorrow, all the way till Friday. So you guys are going to want to check that out. Sign up here. Signing into Biolore. And then as always, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments of the chat and anything else that you may have that you want to dive into. Just gonna get logged in. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay. Let's go into and voila. All right, let's see what we got. Looks like the stream's nice and steady. Boom, we're rocking it. Let's hydrate up in here. Cheers, y'all. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Just get our code. All right, I'll pull this up. Make sure we got the live here. Boom. Boom. All right. Let's make sure that's good. All right, there we go. Bam, I'll pull the chat up. All right. Now, while we're doing this, I'm actually going to be making a little snacky poo. So if you guys want to see my favorite, probably like substitute for traditional peanut butter and jelly, we're going to get into it. Give you a heads up. The wrap, still keeping the peanut butter, but we also are going to substitute the jelly. Speaking of peanut butter, okay, I want to make sure I got my core ingredients here. And this is actually something we're going to be getting into when we drop our next cookbook, which is going to be a dessert one, which is pretty awesome. All right. We still got like a little bit more time. I'm going to get some of the live stream situated. How's everybody's Father's Day, by the way? I don't even know if there's anybody in here. Let's check the chat. Let's see how we're doing in here, chat. Anybody in here? All right, we're going to give time to let more people trickle on in. Otherwise, I'm just talking to the wall, right? Let's see. go. Got all the Father's Day foodie fun. Oh yeah, we're gonna be covering that new gel bundle too. Sweet, sweet. All right. Go. Two. All right, looks like we're getting in. All right, looks like we're in over here too. Let's let it load. Bam, bam, bam. I'm trying to get signed in. Let's see if this is gonna load. I might need to re-log in. All the fun of the online streaming, y'all. Let's see if that chat, that's good. Okay. Come on. Just close out everything else. See if this helps. No. All right, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again, y'all. Do it again. That's why I always do it like a couple minutes. Oh, we're in. Oh, okay, now we're allowed. We're in. Okay. All right, let's go live. Boom. Cheers, Biolore. How we doing, everybody? So, my name's Coach Mike. I'm going to be tagging in on the Biolore channel today. We're going to be breaking down my favorite ways to use the gels that we have, the CMOS gel, breaking down some of the flavors, all the fun, and also going over any questions that you have. I'm going to give it a minute here to let some people trickle on into the live stream before I get going. But again, just to give you a little bit more about me, why I'm jumping on the channel, as well as on my other channels I'm live streaming on. This is a kind of sponsored bundle deal that I did as a collaboration with Biolore. I'm a retired professional Muay Thai fighter, as well as the founder and owner of Life of a Fighter and Lifestyle of Fitness. I collaborated with Biolore. They sent me out their CMOS gel a while back. I liked it. Now I get to integrate it into my normal routine. And I figured what better way to share with y'all than to go over your questions, do a live stream, talk about how I like to use it, also the positive impacts, and all that kind of fun stuff. So also, I'll be gaining some inspiration. So if you guys have questions, anything that's coming in, I'm going to read some questions that have come up on the product that I know have come up in the past. And yeah, we'll just give it some time here. I'm also going to be making a live peanut butter jelly substitute. That's my personal favorite. That's going to be actually in our next cookbook. We have a dessert cookbook that's going to be dropping that I'm going to be kind of partnering with Biolore on. We're going to be featuring some of their CMOS gel in it. And you want to stay tuned for that, but save this one. Let's let some people trickle on in, see if you have some questions. I'm going to highlight, they have a new bundle here that's going to be a delicious combo, and we'll start with that. You can also, because it's Prime Week, so starting tomorrow all the way till Friday, you're going to have Prime Day deals. We have some exclusive deals already starting today here on the Biolore live stream. If you guys are watching on any of the other channels that I'm live on right now, you can hop on over to Amazon Live, check out Biolore. I'm live on it right now. If you're on my channel, you can hop on over. I also have the Biolore products in the carousel below. If you're watching on YouTube, hop on over. I got the link in the comments. I'm going to put it in here right now, and then we'll dive on into the fun. The goal is, again, to just share some of my personal experience while also being able to go over your questions and give you some inspiration, some ideas on why you might want to be using the sea moss gel, where it can be a great option, and also the taste and flavor, because I feel like that might be an interesting question that I've had come up before I started using it that I think is really, really impactful to go over. And really, I like to use it like a substitute for jelly, which we're going to get into as well. But let me pull out some of the questions that we had ahead of time that came in for some of the products, like the one I have highlighted right now, which is our new set and bundle. We also got gummies too. We're going to get into the description on why you might consider gummies, why you might consider the gel, and all of that. And I have some preloaded questions here. That's what I also appreciate about Amazon. Yeah, how many servings in a jar? We'll get into that. How long does it last? We'll get into that. Why you might like it. I got you guys on the questions. Yes, it totally, even why it works with smoothies or does it work with smoothies? We'll get into that as well. And again, you can see right here below me, you can see claim deals. You get some discounts. You got some exclusive deals on Biolore. Hit that button, claim your deals, especially if you're watching on the, oh, it's going to be right here. Trying to figure out on my, there it is. Okay. Right here on the Biolore channel, you're going to see the claim deals. It's a yellow button. Hit that button, get your discounts on, especially if you're watching this live. If you end up watching the replay, if it's throughout Prime Week, still check it out. You're probably going to get some deals. If you're watching this after Prime Week, it's still a great product, but you missed out. You got to hit action while we're live. Okay, I still got a couple more minutes here before we're officially going to kick it off. I'm going to, yeah, just see if anyone's going to trickle on in. If you guys, again, while we're going through this and while I'm getting the kind of chat going, feel free to drop questions, whether I'm talking about something and you want to know more about it, whether it's something completely different, or you just want to know any, like you can kind of AMA, ask me anything, whether it's related to my professional fighting career, owning a business. I've ran a business over the last 15 years in the martial arts and health and wellness space. So I'm happy to speak to it from that perspective. I'm a board certified health coach, a certified fitness nutrition specialist, a certified personal trainer, ISSA master trainer. I'm saying all these things to give you ideas of what I can speak to and what stays within my scope of practice and what might be outside of my scope, but happy to share insight and information where I can and what feels relevant. Okay. With that being said, let's get a little sip of water. Let's hydrate, y'all. And then I'll go into the first question, okay? Yeah, we not only have questions that you can ask live in the comments, but we also have some preloaded questions that have been asked in the past that I'm going to kind of pull up. Ooh, that's a little too low. I'm sitting in my bouncy ball here, which if you know, you know. Getting your stability training on, which I'm going to use here, a little balance and coordination. But let's pull up some questions. So the first question was, can you use these in a fruit smoothie or in a smoothie? In general, yes. I think that's a great way to incorporate all the sea moss gel into a smoothie. Pick your favorite kind of flavor. The one thing I like to personally add is protein. So whether it's a powder, whether it's a pre-made shake, honestly, your most cost-effective option is if you take a powder. We even have, like, I have some powdered collagen protein right here that you can throw into it. It's a great way to get added protein, get your nutrients in, and also be able to get in some of the, not only micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, but some of the electrolytes that you'll get from your sea moss gel. So that's question number one that I saw come up is, does it work in smoothies? And it tastes great. The biggest thing I personally like to use it for is also substituting for peanut butter and jelly, which in about another minute or two, I'm actually going to show you guys how I like to do it and how you can get more fiber in, getting in a little bit more protein, and drop your sugar intake drastically by substituting your jelly for sea moss gel. And then I'm actually going to try each individual flavor. I'm going to give you my ranking on my favorite flavor and how I like to use it. All right, let's see what other kind of questions are. How many servings per jar? That's another great question. So there's going to be some different sizes depending on which one you get. We have two right here. Our first is our 8 ounce, and then the second, I believe, is our 16 ounce. So relative, you're literally just going to have double. So for your 8 ounce, you're going to have 8 servings per container because it's 2 tablespoons. For your 16 ounce, you're obviously going to double that for 16. Again, 1 serving is going to be 2 tablespoons. And here's the cool part. This is the kicker, especially when you compare it to like a jelly. So I like to substitute it with jelly. Is for 2 tablespoons, we're getting 10 calories. That's it, and only 1 gram of sugar. Versus if you think about a traditional like serving of jelly, you're going to have like 60 calories, if not more, with at least 5 grams of sugar, if not more. depending on, again, which one you're using. The other side, again, is your electrolytes, your magnesium, your sodium, your really specifically sodium and potassium, but the micronutrients in general is going to be the benefit. Now, is this meant to substitute for all types of vegetables and food? No, it's a complementary piece to it. But I sometimes like to think of it as an add-on, like, okay, it's another kind of micronutrient multivitamin benefit, but I don't just substitute this altogether for my multivitamin. Another thing I like to use it for is being able to, again, get in some pre-fiber probiotic friendly additives. So being able to help just support the microbiome, the gut health, our flora in our actual gut. Let's dive into our next question here. Tastes good in juice, 100%, just similar to the smoothie, at 100% does taste good in juice. What I would say though is matching the flavors. Like, for example, we have our pina colada. So I'm actually going to go through the different flavors right now. If you guys have questions, let me know, but I'm literally going to do like a half tablespoon of each just from a flavor test. Pina colada is probably top 3 for me. And if you guys can't see already, the consistency I think is important, because a lot of times people are uncertain because they hear sea moss gel and they don't think it's like delicious and or good. And if you just were to look at kind of, it's got similar to, again, a jelly kind of consistency, hence the gel. And it feels really good. So this is also my personal favorite, the mango pineapple. Pina colada is definitely number 2. So I'm going to rank them on top as my top. So we got number 1, mango pineapple, 100% my favorite. Number 2, pina colada. Definitely top 3. Just depends on the day and the flavor. Then it kind of depends on my day and what I'm kind of feeling. But I like to, let's just do it based on today. Sour apple tends to be my number 3, but let's compare that because the mango chili zing's got a little bit of spice to it. That could be really good too. So far, that's going to be my number 3. I'm actually going to highlight the flavors as we go through them. And again, you can save up to 15% on these. So I'm just going to go through all the different bundles, the different packages. Oh, let's kick in the mango chili zing. See where we're at. Again, this one's going to have a little bit more kick, a little bit more spice. Nothing crazy. Like, you're not going to sweat from it. But we kind of got the tingles on my tongue. Yeah, I'm going to keep the sour apple still above that just because, I'll be honest, I also just did a workout and some coaching sessions before this. So this is actually going to be the first thing I have that's outside of a protein shake. So it's kind of like breaking a fast. So I want something a little bit sweeter and I want something with a little bit more protein. But because I'm not really going into a massive glycogen depleting style workout protocol today, I don't need to go that crazy with my sugar reload, which is cherry pie. Okay. So I'm actually going to still put the mango chili zing above the cherry pie just because I like that flavor. And then I've had the grape soda before. It's okay. It's just my least favorite, if I'm being honest. It's still good. Like, I just know I shouldn't. I might even put it above the cherry pie today. I'm kind of feeling that one. So this is my flavor. I got mango chili is my number 1. Pina colada comes next. The sour apples where it's at. Mango chili zing. That's kind of like my middle spot. Grape soda splash, and then cherry pie bringing it home. Now, this is going to be the fun component, the mixing. I'm going to make, again, my peanut butter and jelly substitute swap that you guys can do at home right now. You don't even have to use the same brands I'm using as far as the tortillas or the peanut butter. Is just what I like. The reason I also like this is because, as I mentioned before, with all of the sea moss gel, you're also going to get some of that microbiome friendly options or ingredients that goes really well with fiber. Not just for your actual like fullness, but for your actual gut health. So for this, it's with the wraps that I like to use, it's 2 servings are going to be 60 calories, and that is 13 grams of fiber. So 2 of these, 60 calories, 5 grams of protein, 13 grams of fiber. Okay, so I'm going to start with 2. I'm probably going to do, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. I'll make 1 for each. I'm actually going to do 6. So that means we're going to do 3 servings. That's 180 calories just in the tortillas alone. That's 15 grams of protein right there. Plus, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of peanut butter to each. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of the sea moss gel to each. We have a 1-to-1 ratio. And because of that, that means we're gonna do 3 servings. So that means I'm gonna get 24 grams of protein. So this is the kicker though. Because I'm gonna do 3 servings, that's still 600 calories in the peanut butter. I normally would do like a third of that, but just to emphasize the actual calorie and the flavors, and then I'll rank them from my picks for mixing it in the jelly. You can literally do, again, 2 wraps, 60 calories, plus you pick your favorite flavor, 1 serving of peanut butter, which would be, again, 200 calories. So you got 260 plus 10 grams, 270 calories. Let's call it 300 for easy math. You got 8 grams of protein. Let's call it plus your 5. So you got 13 grams of protein. It's a great post-workout or a midday snack. What I would do to level this up, since I already had a protein shake during my workout, I don't need to, I would just add a protein shake to this. This is where you can make it a smoothie, and it just levels up the protein intake for it as well. Because what I personally like to see, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but from my preference and the clients that I work with in my coaching programs, we tend to shoot for every 100 calories you're taking in, about 10 grams of protein. We can play with that up or down. Again, I'm not saying you even need to obsess about counting calories or measuring all that, but it's helpful to kind of give as a gauge. So you're getting a nice split of protein and carbs. Now let's try all of our flavors. Again, we're doing 1 tablespoon. Now I'm using a rough estimate. Now, if you're really wanting to track your calories, you'd want to actually either weigh it with a scale if you want to be really precise, and or use an actual tablespoon. That's roughly, this is a bigger scoop, that's roughly going to be about a tablespoon. But if you're saying, oh, Mike, I've seen great content on this, like, I'm not losing weight, I'm counting my calories, I'm in a calorie deficit, like the law of thermodynamics would say you're not. And a great way to double check if you're truly eating in a calorie deficit is by weighing everything. Do I think that's super sustainable? No. Do I think it's super like healthy long term for your psyche? No. But I do think it's really beneficial if you want to, let's say, lose some body fat and you're not seeing it on the scale, you're probably overeating. Not probably, you're 100% overeating where you need to be. The cool part, the reason I bring this up with the sea moss gel, is it's a great way. Like, you're between 5 and 10 calories per serving on this versus jelly would be 60, if not more, calories per serving. So it's a great way to cut back on some unnecessary sugar while still having some delicious flavor. And throughout this, I'm gonna, again, be like snacking. Now the key is I don't always love the mango chili zing on a wrap. This one I would do more as a smoothie, and this would be like something for like appetite. I find the spice helps me a little bit on that. But still, it's gonna be good. All right, I'm gonna pause and see if we got, doesn't look like we have questions over here. Let's see any questions, and we have some preemptive. Okay, how long after opening is it good, and when's the best time to take it? We'll get into both of those questions as well. So once you open it up, you're gonna wanna refrigerate it and use it within 4 weeks. That's the ideal time. Once you open and preserve, or open up the seal that is preserving it. Also, you're gonna wanna keep it, even before you open it, in a relatively cool and damp place. You don't want to like keep it out in the sun, out in the car, anything like that. Once you kind of pop the seal, which I've done for all of these, you're going to want to eat it within 4 weeks. That's the ideal. That's the best time from a quality perspective and a maximal use of the nutrients that come along with it. All right, so we got all 6 flavors. I got my mango pineapple, pina colada, sour apple, mango chili, grape soda, and we've got our cherry pie. Now let's get the peanut butter. This is where, if you're really mindful of your caloric intake and you're not wanting to put on muscle and size, you really want to be conservative with your peanut butter. Okay. Yep, chill for 2 hours before use. That's another added one for the cancer question. Ooh. You could, like, another question came, can I freeze it to make it last longer? You know, the key thing for wanting to use it is like being able to still keep it within that 4-week window. You could technically try and do that, but you're really going to want to eat it whether you freeze it or you put it in the fridge. Keep it for 4 weeks. Okay. Now let's see how it also compares from a like vegan and gluten-free standpoint. Now here's the thing. If you're using the peanut butter in the tortillas, it's not going to have the same vegan gluten-free components to it. But if you're just doing the sea moss gel by itself, like, look, here's a pretty rounded scoop of peanut butter. I would count this as 2. So I'm only going to do like half of a scoop on this one and then the other half on this one. So again, if you're doing this with the peanut butter and the tortilla. It's not going to be that gluten-free and vegan-friendly mixture, but just the sea moss gel by itself and the gummies are going to be, oh yeah, pina colada, what's up? So good. They're going to be vegan and gluten-free. Oh, I haven't had this in like over a week. I forgot how good this is. So good. So again, I'm being conservative with my scoops. We're just going to guesstimate I'm doing about 6 tablespoons, which is getting about 600 calories. Each tablespoon of the peanut butter is 100 calories. And each tablespoon is roughly about 4 grams of protein. All right, let's do our last one. And again, this is going to keep me full because I have 6 of these wraps. Every 2 is going to be 13 grams of protein. So I'm getting like almost 40 grams of protein right now as a great post-workout or midday snack. Getting in, we got 24 grams of protein from the peanut butter. We're getting in another 5 grams of protein per 2. So that's times 3, 15. Getting 40 grams of protein, 40 grams of fiber, plus being able to cut our sugar intake with, it's going to be about a gram of sugar per serving. So we have 3 grams of sugar. Instead of, if you were doing jelly, you'd have like 15 to 20 grams of sugar on this. Dude, this is so good. Even the mango chili zing is what's up. Okay. So we got all of our wraps. Let's roll them up. Let's rank them out. And we'll keep hitting questions. Also, let me know how the audio sounds, everybody. It sounds good. I want to know. If it's annoying hearing me chew, I thought this would be a fun idea. I'm going to come back each week for the rest of the summer doing live streams with you guys on both the Biolore channel here as well as my channel. And want to kind of maximize the kind of experience for you guys. So if you prefer checking out different recipes and snacks, I'll do that. I was thinking even one of these, I might do like a smoothie kind of juicing recipe, or just take it by itself, continuously play and blend with that. Let's see if we have any additional questions coming in. So yeah, we talked about vegan and gluten-free by itself. And let's look at what other questions we have. I'm going to click on some of the other products. Let's go to the gummies. That's another one here that I've used their gummies before. Honestly, gummies to me are the easiest way to get in the nutrient value from it. If you don't love the consistency of the gel, where you're just uncertain about it, all my daughters have tried the gummies. They all have like thumbs up experiences with it. Even with the gel, I've substituted the gel for jelly that we normally use. They all actually like it. They've even eaten it by itself and they can't even tell when we substitute it. So that's even like kind of a positive way you can work it in as well. All right, can I mix the gel into hot beverages? Ooh, that's a separate question I'm going to get into. Nice. Okay, let's talk about the gummies versus the gel. So here's, again, my standpoint when it comes to, like I was just saying, when it comes to the gel, it's going to be the like lower process version of it. Also, what is really impactful for the gels is tastes really good, but it's not sweetened with sugar. The cool thing is they actually use, like, let's say for the pina colada or the mango pineapple, they actually use the puree of the mango to help flavor and sweeten it. So yeah, so look, we got our sea moss gel, purified water, mango puree, pineapple puree, vitamin C in the form of absorbic acid, and monk fruit concentrate for that sweetener. So just to be mindful of like what you care about your ingredients. The one thing I will say is you wouldn't want to combine this with something that has like sodium benzoate, like absorbic acid plus sodium benzoate, not necessarily the greatest combo. You can look that up on your own, but the absorbic acid and vitamin C by itself, it's going to be okay. But again, the cool thing I like about this, they use a puree to sweeten it and to color it. So you're not actually using dyes or any of that kind of stuff, and it's not going to take away from the actual sea moss gel itself. All right, so let's look up, okay, why the gels and the gummies together. That's another great question. So yeah, here's what I would say is the gel, the best combo deal is for the gels and the gummies. If you not only want the benefits of the sea moss gel and you want to use it as a food substitute, but you also want an easy, accessible version for yourself or for others in your household, that's a quick on-the-go option. The gummies are super easy. They taste great, very accessible. That's like the easiest way to get it in. And you can look forward to it, especially if you want to build a habit. The psychology of building a habit is trying to lower the resistance. So if you enjoy gummies, that's why like creatine gummies are another great option as an interesting psychology principle. is if you enjoy taking gummies, start with that. It'll help you build the habit on a daily basis. Stack it on top of something you already do. And then for the gel, that's a great way to substitute it with jellies. Like I'm making my wraps over here. Yeah, honestly, this is still the rank I would put it in, even with the peanut butter and the wrap together. Dude, this is so good. And again, for those of you guys watching at home, you can get a discount deal, 15% off right underneath me. Snag it live. Whether you want to get the gummies, whether you want to get the gel, you want to get both of them together. What I would personally do, I would get both the gummies and the gel. If you just want the gel, I would say get the bundled pack so you could try a couple different flavors. Unless you know you specifically love pina colada or mango or whatever, maybe then get it by itself. But I think I like getting the bundles with the gummies and the gel together. Also getting, if you're going to just go with the gel, get a variety pack. You'd be surprised what you might actually enjoy. Let's see if we have any other questions coming in. Ooh, what is the recommended daily intake for sea moss gel? That's a good question. So, excuse me as I'll just get a little water down. Again, this is obviously going to vary for like your size and your goals and a couple of different things, but just as a baseline, 2 tablespoons of serving is going to basically do it for your daily kind of dosage. Okay. So you can even start with half of that. You can start with 1 tablespoon, then work your way up to 2. But the cool thing is in 1 serving and 2 tablespoons, you're going to get 92 essential minerals, specifically the ones I highlighted before. Potassium and sodium in your electrolyte category. You're going to get iron and zinc as well. And again, depending on where your deficiencies are at, this is where you could talk to your own physician or talk to a medical professional. Like even in our coaching, if you guys are interested, I got a whole team that can support you on that. We can collaborate and say, hey, when you buy your Biolore packs, one of the things I want to work on with them is I'm going to send y'all access to our app where you can jump on a call with us for free. You can try out different things. You can even log your food and see where it fits and where you might have some nutrient gaps. And kind of make a more informed perspective. But again, 1 serving is going to be 2 tablespoons. That's pretty much all you need on a daily basis, if that. You can even start with half that. But again, 2 tablespoons is roughly going to be over 90 essential minerals. You're going to have potassium, sodium, zinc, iron, a lot of key nutrients that are going to have its own benefits in there. And that's what's kind of cool about why the sea moss gel has kind of gotten a craze. Now, again, is it going to replace your multivitamin? No. Is it going to replace all the fruits and vegetables, like having 5 to 7 fruits and vegetables on a daily basis? No. But personally, what I count this as is like, okay, cool, this can be a serving of produce. So one of the principles that we play with in my coaching philosophy is getting in protein in every meal and every day, produce, and having something pleasurable. So this can be in that produce category that gives you some good nutrients. And all right, we're going to bring it home from there. I'm going to pause, see if there's any additional questions. But that's pretty much going to do it for today's live stream. I will be back next week. And again, I'll be back every single week for the rest of the summer, talking to you guys, sharing my perspective as not only a board certified health coach, as a certified trainer, as a retired professional fighter and athlete, and someone that actively works with clients and my team, share our perspective, different options and resources we have. And again, any questions you guys have, feel free to submit them on the channels, on the product page ahead of time. Come live and ask your questions, and we'll be able to dive into it from there. But that is pretty much it. All right, I appreciate y'all, and cheers, everybody. See y'all on the next one. See, I'm going to just double check over here if we have any questions, and if not, we'll bring it home. Let's check our other channels, see if other questions came in. And again, it's Prime Week, so if you haven't already, make sure you get that 15% off. I'll just throw that out there. That was the question. And that's pretty much it. We got deals coming throughout the rest of the week. See y'all next week on our next live stream. Make sure you're following, stay tuned, subscribe and follow so you can keep up to the live streams, and you'll be able to see when more deals are coming out. And again, if you want to support me, you want to support the brand. You can also support Biolore. I really appreciate them partnering with me and us being able to do this collaboration together, do a little demo. I might even do a collab like fitness workout and then having my post workout. We'll see. But if you guys have requests on that, let us know. Reach out to our channels. Let us know the requests. Find us here not only on Amazon, but all our other platforms. That's where you can communicate us. And we'll leave it at that. All right. Cheers, everybody. Bye, y'all.